welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2020 video. Today we went to, what is this on?
Prime.
Amazon Prime, because Leslie wanted to check out American Nightmares, aka Tales from the Crib, American Nightmares.
Listen, I wanted to go away from the stacks that he shows me to pick from, okay?
Yep. She wanted this, which clearly was going to be an anthology film just from the, Tales from the Crib line that they had on the picture. It's called American Nightmares, as far as I can tell. Everybody knows it, but for some reason Amazon Prime has put Tales from the Crib, American Nightmares. Yes, the film is directed by, oddly enough, Rusty Cundieff and Darren Scott. Yes, Rusty Cundieff and Darren Scott. That duo, known for such films as Tales from the Hood. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Rusty Cundieff, also known for, his work directing The Chappelle Show. And Darren Scott, known for such things as Dark House, Deep Blue Sea 3, The Maid, Something Wicked, American Horror House, so he's got more horror behind him, and apparently, Rusty is the comedy, I guess. I don't know. But somehow they come together and manage to get a bunch of people who, you know what? They are recognizable. They have a name. They're not A-list. I'm not saying, Tom Cruise isn't showing up in this movie.
Oh.
But, essentially, the film is about two, say, millennial hackers, I don't know why they keep saying they're millennials in all the reviews. They're two hackers, two young hackers in university age-ish, who, well, their whole thing is they hack into people's video feeds, save that video, and then use it to blackmail you. And while they're doing this, Mr. Malevolent hacks into their stream and forces them to watch scary tales.
To teach them a lesson.
To teach them a lesson or something. Yeah. Mr. Malevolent is played by Danny Trejo. I don't really need to go into anything about who Danny Trejo is. He's in everything. He's one of those guys where it's like, if there's any type of Mexican Hispanic role that's called for, that you have to be slightly older. I mean, when he was young, he was slightly younger, but with a gruff look, Danny Trejo's the first call that, he gets the call and he's like, yeah, I'll be there. And he shows up. And beside him, or across from him at the table, is Nichelle Nichols. Miss Uhura from Star Trek herself, playing a kind of a witchy woman who doesn't do much other than conjure up an item somewhat related to the story that's going to be told, because this has 7 segments. So technically this has kind of got 2 wraparounds. You've got the hackers hacking stuff, and the Danny Trejo and Nichelle Nichols doing their whole little bit. So they're introducing everything. And I guess, as far as I could tell, the wraparound is called Ratters. Because it's the only one I couldn't figure out. But in the credits, Darren Scott is listed as directing Ratters, Mates, which is the first one, The Prosecutor, and Hate Radio. These are the names of the different segments. And Rusty directed White Flight, The Samaritan, The Healer, and Thy Will Be Done. And I think, what was the order it went in? It went, Mates was first, Thy Will Be Done was last.
Oh, God.
I
I don't remember.
All right, let's see if we can remember what each segment was about. Mates was essentially
The
about...
robot.
You just gave it away.
No, I didn't.
Was about a woman who couldn't find the perfect man.
Every woman. There you go.
Yes, and eventually she does, but there's a twist. Because there's always a twist. That was followed up by, I guess, the Prosecutor? Right? And the Prosecutor was... A lot of these are very much, like, hit you in the head with the morality plays in these things, like crazy amounts, right? So I guess Mates would have been about bad relationships and abuseful relationships. The Prosecutor is about a lot of this is about racism. This is about obviously the judicial system and how you're wrongfully accusing people simply because, hey, he's a black guy, he happened to be there, so he's guilty. And, well, sometimes that can come back to be, bite you in the butt. Or whatever it was that happened in that one. Because there's a twist! And after that...
Stop saying there's a twist. Oh my god.
M. Night Shyamalan directed all of them! I think White Flight was probably next.
Oh my god.
So that was the very, very... It was a racist cop essentially getting his comeuppance after he buys a time machine.
You're gonna give stuff away. You can't even say anything.
Well, that's not the twist. Yeah. And he goes back in time because that's when people were against blacks. So, next up, I think... Was it Samaritan or Hate Radio?
I feel like the radio was the last one, but I could be wrong. I wasn't keeping track.
Okay, so we'll say the Samaritan was next. I didn't write this down in order. And the Samaritan... What was the Samaritan one about? Shoot.
Listen, there's kids around, okay? Got a lot going on.
The Samaritan one... Oh, that was...
Was it the last one?
That one, the Samaritan, must have been the clown.
But that was in near the beginning, right?
It was in the middle. So I think that was the clown one. In which case, a pimp brings over his lady of the night to a man who's seems to be...
Oh my god, yeah.
To be
that was earlier on. Yep.
Deathly ill almost, and he has a few special requests.
Oh my lord.
And yes, it's all involving clowns, and I will have to say that was kind of the turning point for me in this whole thing, because up until this point I was kind of like, but that made me laugh. We'll follow that one up with Hate Radio, which is essentially hate. It's hate radio, right? Like, it's pretty much what you think it is.
Yeah. Oh god, it bothers me so much that I can't remember the guy. I'm pretty positive it's based off a real guy who was actually in the news, and I believe he was on Fox Radio, and I can't remember the guy's name. I remembered it, but I don't think I'm allowed to say it now.
Sure you can. Why can't you say it?
I don't want to get in trouble. Well, I don't remember. It's Limbaugh. Not Bush, something Limbaugh.
Rush.
Yeah, that guy. That was the guy. That was the guy.
I don't know what he
That
looks
was
like.
the guy.
I don't follow Hate Radio, so I don't know anything about it.
Well, I don't either. He was in the news.
Sure, she doesn't. She's just like, oh yeah, that guy, he was there.
You better take that back.
Okay, After Hate Radio is The Healer, which is not so much about race as it is about phony evangelists and phony, healers who are taking advantage of people. And, this healer eventually gets his comeuppance. And then finally, Thy Will Be Done, about the anti-abortion league, essentially. The I don't know what you want, the super far right Christians who will stop at nothing to stop you from stopping your baby, I guess. That was, I don't know. But, yes. And all of these things, it's very much there's a obvious, I'd say, if you wanted to put it left-right, most of them would be on the left-leaning side of the spectrum. Tales of something that, gets turned around and there's some kind of comeuppance. But what I said earlier was they managed to get a lot of people who, have a name behind them. Now, the wraparound portion with the two hackers, one is played by Michael Felix, nothing of note behind him. The other one is played by Jared Kuznets, who I didn't recognize much in terms of the way, his name or his looks, but he's actually done a few genre films, which was odd. Like, Doll Graveyard is his first film from Full Moon. He did Otis, the zombie film, Dance of the Dead, and what was the other? Devil Dolls. So, he's done, considering he doesn't have a lot of films behind him, he's done quite a few horror films. Ones that I actually watched.
Ones that I would probably say are crappy.
You might say that. They're lower budget ones. But, in terms of people who are in this film, I'm not going to tell you, which segment they're in or really go into a lot of what they've been in. Because there's 7 segments, there's a lot of people. I'm just going to start naming off names of people who were in this who actually you might know. Like Tamala Jones, if you follow any films with a large black cast, she's been in a lot of them. Wendy Davis again. Jay Moore, oddly enough, is in this film. Eddie Steeples. Vivica A. Fox. Ruben Pla was an odd thing. He is one of those guys who you might know his face more than anything. You're not going to know his name, but he's been in a lot of films that you would recognize and be like, that guy? What? We got Ty Tillman, Kate Butler, Brendan Sexton III, Dwayne Whitaker, Rusty Cundiff, Chris Kattan, that Saturday Night Live guy who, where the heck's he been?
Nowhere.
Nowhere, and then he shows up in this. Mark Christopher Lawrence. James Duvall is in this movie. Rachel Axelrod, again, I think she's in Saturday Night Live, isn't she? Isn't that where she's from? Axelrod? I don't know, I think she's Barry Shabaka Henley, and finally Clarence Williams III. Yes,
What's with the thirds, man?
Oh, some old blaxploitation, some new cast, and then there's a whole bunch of other ones who you might know them. Again, not super famous people, but they've been in quite a number of films and had, name parts. They've also had a lot of non-name parts, but such is the life of a working actor who may not be getting paid a ton of money whenever they're working. LA ain't cheap. So, yeah. Any thoughts about this film.
I picked it.
Yes, you did. Technically, she's picking almost all of these things, and then James picks them. And first I pick them, then she picks them, then James picks them. This one was all
ultimately,
her. This was all her.
Anything that's bad is your fault.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Well, I picked this.
Yeah.
And I mostly picked it because it was like an anthology, and I really like those.
Yes. And we do have to throw in a couple, one or two anthologies during the 31 days, because there's a lot of anthologies out there, so, got to throw them in there.
But, I really, really like those a lot. And then that guy, you know his name. From
Danny Trejo.
Right. So it showed him up there,
Yes.
and I was like, you can say what I said.
No, she sent me a message today, and she's like, "Do you want to see this?" And I was like, "Sure, I've never heard of it." And she's like, "It's got that guy, the guy from Sons of Anarchy that you said is in everything." I was like, "Ron Perlman?" She's like, "No, it started with a T." And I'm thinking the first name starts with a T, and I'm trying, Tiberius? Who? I don't know. And then I see it, I pull it up when and it's Danny Trejo, and I was like, "Oh," and she was like, "He's in it, right?" And I was like, yes, he's in Sons of Anarchy. Not the whole show, but he plays a main character in several seasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's why I picked it. Because I was like, anthology, this guy I've already seen before. All right. It's not in a pile.
It's not in a pile. That was more the criteria than anything else.
Because I've seen the piles, Rob, and I'm sick of the piles. Anyways.
More piles to come.
I'm a little disappointed.
She's a lot disappointed.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I've seen way better anthologies, and him talking at the table, I could do without it.
It's honestly like the Danny Trejo and Nichelle Nichols portion is literally just to have Danny Trejo and Nichelle Nichols' name on the movie, because there's nothing going on there.
No.
They're trying to be Danny's trying to be the crypt keeper, but he's not really a comedian, so I'm pretty sure he's just reading what was wrote, and it wasn't written very well.
Yeah, there were two of the little stories that, well, more than two, but two stood out a lot to me, but I'm not allowed to say why, because both of them made me very, very angry, and then even the one that made me angry all of a sudden turned into something else, and I'm like, what the hell?
Is it the last one?
I think so.
The abortion?
Yes.
Yes.
But the other one, you know what the other one was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and made me really mad.
that was and I get why they did what they did, but at the same time I was like, that's a little much, considering this film isn't really of that nature, we'll say.
Yeah, wow. That was surprising. And also, I like it in an anthology where, okay, I get it, there's the hacker guys, there's the people at the table, but I like it when they incorporate the stuff into the little individual stories. You know what I mean? Where there's something in the actual things that ties it together, not like this, oh, they're sitting here and they're sitting there. I like that better. So, yeah, I picked it.
Yeah, which, you know what, is odd, considering this only had the two directors, writer-directors, doing everything. there's no reason why this wraparound couldn't have been all incorporating all of these little stories, right? Like there's absolutely no reason why it couldn't have been like that. It almost seems like this was a real cop out. You know, like they probably shot everything and then it was like, who can we get? We need to find some name, you know, and like they were probably fishing out there trying to get some people, and because the Danny Trejo, Nichelle Nichols, it's just whatever. They shot it one location. They came probably an hour or two of shooting to get their whole parts down, and then they just edited it in, you know, because they're hackers and it's showing up on their computer screens. So it's not like it had to be done at any point in time other than at the end, when they, you know, could have said, oh, look at these other people we've gotten in here, and managed to, you know, snag somebody a little bit, you know, higher in terms of name power. But I don't know. It all could have been all worked together in a really interesting and entertaining way, but whatever. I get it. I totally get it. I will say, like I said earlier, the clown segment definitely turned it around. I think that might have been my favorite of all of them. It's weird because it was the one, out of all of them, it was the one that didn't really seem to have a straightforward, you know, hit you over the head morality thing going on. It was just... It's standard. You could have put that in any anthology, really, you know, and just thrown it. That's just one of those segments. So it just sort of worked for me. It was funny. It was entertaining. It had some stuff going for it. So there was that. The last one, I was kind of not whatever. It was what it was until you got to the end, and then I burst out laughing. Because it was totally out of nowhere, and I just it goes down a rabbit hole I did not see coming. Yeah. What else was there? The White Flight, I thought was it was akin to a Rod Serling Twilight Zone episode, but it loses you. Like, the whole idea is very, very Twilight Zone-y, but the writing and the execution and all that kind of stuff and what they actually did with it was it was more offensive than it really, like, it just, I get what they were trying to do, but I'm pretty sure there's Twilight Zone episodes and Outer Limits episodes and you name it, you know, whatever whatever those television series you go through, I'm sure all of them have done a very similar message story, and they are probably all better than White Flight. Like, it's just, yeah. I get what they were trying to say. I get what they were trying to do.
Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes in, I was just like, oh my God, really?
It wasn't done very well. The Healer, on the other hand, was very much a Twilight Zone-y type thing. That was definitely right up there. Like, I could easily see that be as might have been an episode of the Twilight Zone if I could remember all the different Twilight Zone episodes between all the different remakes of Twilight Zone. I could almost guarantee there was something along those lines. It just seems so much like a Twilight Zone episode. In which case, it was very well done. It was good. But at the same time, it was Twilight Zone-ish. It was tame. Like, it was just, I don't know. It seemed like made for TV type fare, right? Mates, I get it. Didn't care much for it.
I liked it.
But at the same time, I can see Mate seemed almost like what was that dark web or show that we watch where it was like Twilight Zone-y, but it was all like
what the hell's the name of that show?
Sci-fi-ish type
I know
stuff.
what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name now.
Shoot, what was? But anyways, oh, it's gonna kill me. I can't remember. Think of it right now.
You'll put a thing.
Yeah, I won't put a thing. But yeah, there's a show that's Twilight Zone-ish that we watch, newer show where everything is very much.
Wait, is it Black Mirror?
Black Mirror, maybe.
I think.
No, Darknet. Both of those. Darknet or
That
Black
was
Mirror.
long time.
Either
ago.
one of those ones would work, where they deal with Twilight Zone-y type stories.
No,
but
Darknet is not. It's Black Mirror. There you go.
it's Black Mirror. Okay, whatever.
Don't I watch this and you see? No, it's this.
Where they deal more with technology and sci-fi type things, and it would fit right into that type of thing. But I think they would take it to the next level where I can't say anything more because it gives it away. But I think it would definitely be a lot longer, and it would expand from that. Trying to think, is there anything? Oh yeah, the stupid talk show, the radio. Hate Radio was.
It was just Rush Limbaugh.
Predictable.
Basically.
Very, very predictable. It wasn't even very good.
No.
The Prosecutor, at least, though somewhat predictable, still was kind of a little like you didn't really know exactly what was going to happen until you got most of the way through it. And then it was like, oh, okay, I get it, and the payoff was there, and it was good, and such. But yeah, I think that's everything. And then there's this weird the weird wraparound has its own little, I don't know, twist at the end, which I didn't quite get, but whatever. There was no real. I guess the morality play on that one was, don't hack into people's video feeds and blackmail them. I guess.
Don't do it. Don't do it. I agree with that. Don't do it. That was surprising. Yep, that was all right.
Yeah, it out of nowhere, you're like, what the hell? And the movie pretty much ends, and you're like, holy crap.
Wait, what'd you say your favorite one was?
My favorite one, I think, was the Samaritan one, the clown one.
Oh, fuck, I hate.
Yes, I know.
I hate clowns. No. My favorite was the first one. That's it.
You like the looking for love in all the wrong places.
I'm not saying it was the wrong place. Don't spoil it.
No, not gonna spoil it. So, yeah, if we had to rate the entire thing as a whole, what are you gonna give it?
I already know, 2.5.
2.5. Wow. 2.5, really that high?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say really that low. I was like,
wow.
what? Well, I liked the first one.
Wow, I'm trying to think. So let's see, 7 of them plus a wraparound. That's 8. Wraparound didn't really like. White Flight didn't really like.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I was thinking of it like the whole time, and
Radio
that's what it
didn't
was.
really
2.5. I was like, oh, all right.
So 3 out of the 8 I don't like much at all. I Will Be Done is kind of half. The Healer I like. The Samaritan I like. The Prosecutor I like. So it's 3. Oh no, I guess I'm in the same place. 2.5. I guess, yeah.
And I think most of mine was because it wasn't in a pile.
Yeah, it's like I got 3 that I don't like, 3 that I do like, and 2 that I'm kind of like half and half, which makes even down the middle. So yeah, would you recommend it though? No. Unless, okay, if you saw Tales from the Hood and you were like, this is good watching.
I haven't seen that.
Okay. If you saw that, because I think this was made the same year as Tales from the Hood 2. Almost like this was the leftovers. They're like, we still got a little bit of money. Let's make another movie.
Is Tales from the Hood a horror?
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Oh, I never saw that.
It's Tales from the Hood. It's an anthology, but it's all, well, the Hood. So they're black related, right? Because apparently everybody in the Hood's black, so that's what they're going with.
But you already saw it.
I have seen Tales from the Hood, the first one. Yes, but I do have Tales from the Hood too.
That means I gotta watch the first one.
All right. Go for it then. I think it was up there.
On the Prime?
It might have been. I thought I saw it. I don't know.
I'm in.
But yeah, there you go. Yeah, so if you're into the Tales from the Hood type films and you didn't know about this one, throw it in there. It's.
Well, okay, yeah.
You're going to be, I don't know. You'll probably enjoy it as much. Maybe a little bit less, but still.
Okay, I'm changing my thing. I would kind of recommend it because at least if you're starting the first little thing and you don't like it, you can move on to the next one and move on and move on.
Well, yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, that's your anthology. The good thing about an anthology, right, is usually you can at least enjoy one.
That's what I said. That's how I was selling it to you. Well.
And you know what? As just like the Tales from the Hood thing, there aren't as many horror films that are predominantly black cast and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, if you're sick and tired of watching a bunch of white people run up the stairs because the killer's coming through the front door, maybe you want to check out American Nightmares. I'm just saying, it's definitely appeals.
Yeah, it's different
to a minority crowd, not just blacks. I mean, like they allow for all minorities and.
But I wouldn't just say it appeals to that. Like it appealed to me.
No, I know, but I'm saying if you're tired of watching all white people in your movies.
No, if you're tired of watching what Rob recommends, there you go.
Then you probably aren't following my channel anyways. Anyways, this is probably 7 hours long already. So, have you seen the film? Comment down below. Try and keep it spoiler free if possible. I know it's really hard with these things. They're so short, but thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Have a good one.
See, that was the perfect comment right there.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm very happy with that.
You gonna put on Tales from the Hood now?
What time is it? It's almost 10. How young do you think I am? Putting on a movie at almost 10. Boy.
You don't go to bed till 12.
I don't know. We gotta pull it out.
I'm pretty sure it's less than 2 hours long. Of course, I say this now, but we probably won't even have it available.
Oh my God! You can't be teasing me with Tales from the Hood.
She wants to watch it now.
Yeah, kinda.